Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be a good one between the Miami Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. With that, let's get up to Seattle. Standing by at CenturyLink Field, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Miami Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, they've come in on a nice run of recent form, 4 wins out of 5. Two teams here playing for pride as the final week of the NFL season is underway. This is taken at the 3. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson, and he'll get this one up to the 26. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's second down. And with this offense, what about DJ Fluker?
Came out of Alabama, could play tackle, could play guard. He's so big, Brandon, I think he plays both at the same time.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Wilson. That's complete into the hands of Carson. It's a 4-yard pickup, and they're going to face a 3rd down. Look at the starters defensively for the Dolphins. They were terrific last week against Buffalo in that victory.
And it was the pass rush that really keyed their victory. Got to the quarterback 6 times for sacks, and plenty of other turbulence in the pocket for him as well.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Here's Wilson. He lets it fly for Lockett. And got his man complete. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Big completion there on 3rd and short keeps their opening drive alive.
Not only alive, but plenty of possibilities now. 1st and goal, and you know me, I'm a big advocate. If you're going to throw the ball, throw it early in the down and distance count.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. DK Metcalf, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks take the ball down the field and score on the opening drive. Building confidence after a loss, that's a good way to do it. The loss last game, but first drive here in this one, cashing it in for 6.
Hey, they can talk all they want about putting a loss behind them. I think that drive there did more than any conversation they had, don't you think?
That's exactly right. Puts that to bed. And this is what they said all week long. A lot of things they needed to do differently. And whatever they said appears to have worked. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. They are led out by the final cornerback selected in the 2019 draft, the former Nittany Lion. It's Trace McSorley.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
They'll run on first down. Evans. Oh, he's got a little daylight.
Holding offense.
Now, that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
And, right away, he lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Huge, huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this. They still playing soccer.
A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. This is how the defense will line up for Seattle. Right now in the National Football League, they're ranked number 18 against the pass.
And I think you're going to see some changes in the offseason, whether it's through the draft, free agency, maybe even both. They definitely need some help in the secondary.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on third down. On third down, it's McSorley. It's caught. Jones. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. A Miami first down on a 14-yard pickup.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Throwing is McSorley. Now they go screen. It's complete. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. A good convergence there defensively. Only a yard, and it's second down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed. But all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. The intended target, the tight end, Austin Safarian-Jenkins. And that'll make it third down. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. The hook up to Ross. A very well-executed play. It goes for 29 yards.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 24. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down. Now you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game. But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Austin Seferian-Jenkins with touchdown number 7 on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good, and that'll make our score 14-7. That time a 9-play drive, and it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. This is taken at his 4. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3-and-out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field. They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
That catch good for 5. It's third down. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. He's going to air one out, and he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field as the season winds down and you look at them in totality. You know, the offense has struggled. The defense has been pretty good, so I would imagine the changes this offseason may be more on the offensive side of the ball.
And this is where we always hear the term complementary football, because as you noted, the defense has played well enough for them to win games, and the offense has held them back. So they've got to reward that defense by improving on offense. I don't know if you make a change, a quarterback, running back, tight end, it doesn't matter. Get better players, better system, so they can play to the standards of the defense, and the win column will result.
Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there to swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. But on that play, the defensive tackle had the leverage, and he won the battle. No gain, correct?
No gain. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They'll start out on the ground with Carson. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30. In a word, I would say productive, finding the end zone 3 different times.
Is it possible that you're really underselling it? 3 touchdowns, just going to call him productive?
What do you want?
This guy had a nose for the end zone.
He was good.
Had a snootful, didn't he? How about that? Big-time game.
On second down, it's Carson, and he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4. From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
No, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to something else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. 22 yards there, a 1st down.
What a catch, and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
They
don't
get that little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
And they're going to get about 3 here out of this 1st down run, and that'll bring up 2nd and 7. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Now McSorley. Over the middle, complete. That's Lamb. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 39. This quarterback now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's 1st down. McSorley sets to pass. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, 2nd down. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Stepping up. He's going to keep it. 4 yards there on the keeper, but still going to bring up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. They'll begin the drive with Carson. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They run it with Carson. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. First down Seattle on a pickup of 13.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive they went 3 and out.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 49-yard line. They go play action with Wilson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Vic Beasley came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets up from here. Now Wilson, and that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. The Seahawks on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 19. To throw is Wilson. He's going to air it out deep for Green. And incomplete, a disappointing drop there defensively by the rookie. And now 4th down.
I know I'm not giving enough credit to the defenders because that pass was incomplete. But come on, it was A.J. Green. I always expect him to come up with the ball.
Yeah, on those deep routes especially, even on incompletions, it's fun to watch him run those routes.
It certainly is, but he eats up ground and he usually goes up and gets it.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Here's McSorley to throw. He completes it to Jones. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11.
While sometimes it doesn't appear like much, the out route can be very dangerous when you throw it to a guy like Julio Jones. If you try and undercut it, he can turn into a big play. The reason he's able to get it so often is because of his ability to push people deep, and they have to respect that.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a first down. They held him in check in the first half, but that's his longest carry of the game right there.
So would this be the definition of fresh legs since he didn't get much done in the first half? Now he has a great opportunity. He's taking full advantage of it.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
This complete to Jones. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted one time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. Third downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. In trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end zone loose. And the defense has got it in their end zone, and that strip may have just saved this ball game for them. That's something you have to be wary of on your side of the field, that close to the goal line. The defense, they are looking for that football. They got it. They scored it.
You are so right, and the quarterback has to speed things up himself. So close to the goal line, they're going to get after you. Make sure you get rid of the football and in a safe place.
Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but they're now a loose football. The ball comes out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. Wilson now 8 of 11 in this first half. He's got it 1st and 10. They run the counter. Carson, and he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, if bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 4. Here's Wilson to throw. And that will be incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the 2nd quarter. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line.
Here we go.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
They're going to be stopped up on this first down run. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. On 2nd down, there's the option. And he coughed it up. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And he's got some space here. And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. So that is now 2 fumble return touchdowns. And you talk about something that's going to drive a head coach crazy.
Without a doubt. But for the defensive guys, once you do it once, you create a frenzy. Everybody wants to get involved, and they got it done a second time.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And that will make this a 4-point game. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This is taken at the 3. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
All right, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. 2nd and 10. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Go now. 50. Plant.
Now back to throw. Quick hitch. Complete. It's Lamb. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Matt Hawk now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Returnable for Lockett. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football 1st and 10. Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. They've got the lead. He's a big reason why. Looking sharp so far.
And as we travel around the league, we see quarterbacks get it done in a variety of ways. But today's NFL does tell us one thing. If that guy doesn't play well, their team's not going to win. And right now he's got his team in the lead.
And now they'll look to extend that lead. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. Metcalf once again the target, and it's 2nd down.
Let's get it.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. Dumps this one off to Chris Carson. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. And now on 3rd down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. They run the counter. Carson. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Now here's Michael Dixon. He's been terrific so far. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
All right, Brandon, thank you as always. Welcome into our final regular season edition of our Halftime Report. Playoff lives hanging in the balance as we take you around the NFL one final time. West Coast rivalry that's picking up steam once again. LA taking on San Francisco out at Levi's Stadium. And it's the Rams who are out in front in that one. Cooper Kupp, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. From there, we'll head to Cleveland to check on the Browns at home at First Energy Stadium. And they trail in that ball game to the visiting Tennessee Titans. Corey Davis, a touchdown reception. Finally, let's get out to the Bay Area. See what's happening with the Raiders at home in Oakland. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Chiefs. Hunter Renfrow, a touchdown reception. Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each team has been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defenses show up in the second half? To find out, we give it back to our commentators, Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Now a handoff here to his running back. He fights forward for a couple with a penalty flag down. And the linemen, they're already walking back. That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block it'd be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Throwing on second down, McSorley. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Trey Flowers picks it. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Throwing again on 2nd down. Wilson is complete to Lockett. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. 12 yards there and a first down. Throwing is Wilson. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. A.J. Green, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that pushes the lead up to 11. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. And they give this time to the tailback. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments, and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. That's a jet sweep into the hands of Metcalf. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
It's a loss of 2. Brings up 3rd.
Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Wilson. And able to find Green. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
From midfield now, here's Wilson. And his throw is incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Single.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And with a flag down, he goes down.
Holding. Offense.
So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it. Brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Check. Lucky.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11. Good push up front and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
Throwing is McSorley. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Lamb. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. On second down, it's McSorley. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. Third down just got a lot tougher. That will officially go as a loss of 7. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. On third down, it's McSorley. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Shaquille Griffin knocking it away that time in coverage.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
This one will sail out of bounds. It'll depend on the spot here. And the side judge says that went out at the 7-yard line. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
Here's a handoff to Carson to begin the drive. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10, right around the 9-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And some room to roam now. And he's dropped just shy of the 25 at the 24. It's a gain of 15. First down, Seahawks.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Here's Wilson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jalen Ramsey. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Ready, ready. Hey, that QB's trash. Let's go.
McSorley, 1st and 10. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against them.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And I think we've got a hold here. It's a 5-yard pickup for the moment. Let's see what our referee says. That's Will Hernandez, former second-rounder out of UTEP.
Ready, ready. 18 Gators. Here we go, D. Here I come. Here I come. Fight.
Out of the shotgun, McSorley. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Give credit to K.J. Wright. He was disrupting defensively. So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. Give him 6 on the run. It'll be third down now with still a long way to go to get to the first down marker.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. They'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th. 1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Seibert able to knock this one through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
Out comes the Seattle offense. We take a peek at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. On second down now, it's Carson. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 49-yard line. Now it's Carson. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old ball players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. That one goes for 24 yards.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. On 1st down, it's Evans. Nazaire Jones there on the tackle.
Not much happening there on 1st down.
Thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
From the 44, McSorley. And to the tight end here, Safarian Jenkins. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 35.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Nazaire Jones cruises in for the sack. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm.
Oh, no, he lost the football. But I think a Dolphin was able to fall on it. Yes, they'll keep possession here.
Wow, That ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Here's McSorley now, 3rd and long. Wide open receiver complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 22-yard line.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Now, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jadeveon Clowney, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, you know, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. It's caught. Lockett. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They get 17 on that one. Move the chains. 1st down, Seahawks.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker.
Check. Army.
And they're going to take it all the way down and just take the delay.
Offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5.
Still 1st down.
So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game.
44.
Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now a timeout coming in here defensively as they stop it before the 2-minute warning with 2:09 to go in the game. Now that after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Now Wilson completes it to Dixon. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead. Call it a gain of 5, 4th down now. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. So the Dolphins now down on the scoreboard. A little under 1:50 remaining. A chance to end this season with a bang as they come up with a 1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down. It's Evans, and he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. A Miami 1st down, that one going for a gain of 11. 1st down now, but that clock rolling. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the 2nd quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Short gain, last 2 plays. Who do you think's excited about that?
Absolutely, this defense, they're saying go right ahead with those.
On the ready. Mike's 50.
Back to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. What a great sequence by this defense so far. They've given him nowhere to go with the football.
And they just have to make it stand up one more time because it appears that they've got their number. Can they not have a slip up here and allow the touchdown?
On 4th down, here's McSorley. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Seahawks, they'll get the football back in outstanding field position. Well, they were looking for a clutch play there on 4th, unable to come up with it.
How about that defense, though, huh? How about that D?
Yeah, momentum swing.
And, you know, I remember playing how much 4th downs were emphasized. You know, because, as you said, it's a momentum play. It's also a big test for you. You know, if people are going to go for it on 4th down, they believe you're not up to the challenge. You want to show them differently.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. So the victory here for Seattle, and it wasn't really always pretty. They had their bumps and bruises. Really, both sides did, but they did what they needed to do at home to get the win. Yeah, they really had to grind this one out, didn't they? Because nothing came easy. Every snap was a major league brawl. They had to win at the line of scrimmage, win downfield. They got all those things accomplished. But to win a close one like this, you know, every team wants to be physical. We've heard that a million times, right? But those who are mentally tough, those are the teams that you have to deal with in the playoffs. This was that type of a game. So for the Seahawks, it will wind up a .500 season as the win means they'll finish right at 8-8. And by just about all accounts, not the type of year they were hoping to have. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, they wanted desperately to finish at 500, but that won't happen, as it'll be a 7-9 season in the end. And they can take solace in the fact that this team never quit all the way to the end. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.